I accidentally created a family with my next-door neighbor and her son, and now she wants to make it official with a date. I'm kinda freaking out. 2 years ago, my neighbor 33 and her 11-year-old son moved into the apartment next door. I'm 34, single, no kids, work in IT. I spend most of my free time building custom PCs and watching Formula One. Not exactly what anyone pictures when they think father figure. Moving day, I held the elevator for them a couple times. Offered to help carry the heavier boxes. She thanked me. The kid didn't say a word, just kept his headphones on and stared at his shoes. I figured they'd keep to themselves, and so would I. Clean, simple, neighborly. That lasted about a week. One evening, there's a knock on my door. I open it, and her son is standing there alone, looking embarrassed but determined. He says, "My Xbox won't turn on, and my mom said I could ask you because she saw your setup through the door." I looked past him, and his mom was standing in the hallway pretending to check her phone. She was absolutely listening. Turned out to be a simple power brick issue. Fixed it in 10 minutes. He watched every move I made like I was performing surgery. Before he left, he asked what I did for work. I told him IT. He asked if I could also fix laptops. I said yes. He nodded like he was filing that away for later. He was back 3 days later with a laptop. After that, it became a regular thing. Not every day at first, maybe once a week. He'd show up with some broken piece of tech, and I'd walk him through fixing it instead of just doing it myself. Kid was sharp. He caught on fast, asked good questions, never just waited for me to hand him the answer. His mom started coming to the door with him sometimes. She'd hover for a minute, then we'd end up talking while he worked. She was a project manager at a logistics company. Smart, direct, funny, in a dry way that snuck up on you. She didn't sugarcoat anything, and didn't need you to sugarcoat things for her either. I respected that immediately. By month 3, we were having dinner together at least twice a week. It started as her returning the favor for helping with tech stuff. She cooked, I showed up, we ate. But it stopped feeling transactional pretty quickly. It just became the thing we did. Her son started coming over on weekends to use my secondary monitor setup for gaming. I built him a small budget PC from spare parts I had sitting in my closet. His mom tried to pay me for the components. I told her the parts were just collecting dust, which was true. She gave me a long look and said, "You're either very generous or very bad at accepting things." Probably both. At school, her son had a rough patch around month 4. A group of older kids had been giving him a hard time. Nothing violent, just the low-grade social cruelty that middle school specializes in. He got quiet for a couple weeks, stopped coming over as much. His mom mentioned it to me one evening, clearly worried. I didn't make it a big thing. I just started including him in more. Took him with me to a local tech swap meet. Let him help me with a client's PC build on a Saturday. Paid him a small cut for the help. Said every tech needs to understand the business side eventually. He stood up a little straighter after that. The following month, his school had a career day. Students had to interview someone whose work they admired and write a short profile. He asked if he could interview me. I said sure, figured it'd be a quick 15 minutes. It took 2 hours. He had a notebook full of questions. 3 weeks later, his mom forwarded me an email from his teacher. Subject line, "Outstanding career day submission." The teacher said it was the most passionate and detailed profile she'd received in 5 years of assigning the project. His mom included a photo of the written copy. I read the whole thing on my lunch break. Most of it was about circuits and systems and problem solving, which made me proud. But it was the last paragraph that made me put my phone face down on the desk and just stare at the wall for a minute. He wrote, "Most adults talk about what they do. He talks about how to think. He never just fixes the problem. He shows me why it broke in the first place. And every time I mess up, he just says, 'Okay, now you know.' He shows up every single time. That's the kind of person I want to be." I didn't know what to do with that. I still don't, honestly. That evening, his mom knocked on my door. No food this time, no kid. Just her in the hallway, looking at me like she'd made a decision she'd been putting off for a long time. She said, "I think we both know this stopped being neighborly a long time ago." Then she said her son had asked her last week if she thought I'd ever want to be a real part of their family. That she'd been thinking about nothing else since. That she'd been trying to talk herself out of saying anything because she didn't want to risk what we already had. But the profile pushed her over the edge. She asked if I wanted to get dinner, just the two of us, this Saturday. I said yes before she finished the sentence. And now it's Thursday, and I'm standing in my closet staring at shirts like I'm defusing a bomb. She is one of the most grounded, capable, quietly remarkable people I've ever met. Her son already feels like someone I'd go to the mat for without thinking twice. I'm not freaking out because I'm unsure. I'm freaking out because I'm absolutely, completely sure. And that's the most terrifying thing I've ever felt.